Hello everyone, once again I welcome you all to our tutorial series, and I just hope these videos are offering helping hand to all viewers. In our previous tutorial we had discussed about variables, their types and uses, and in particular scalar variable in detail. So in the same continuation we will learn list variables in this new tutorial. Now, what is list? List or sequence is data type that represents a countable number of ordered values where the same value may occur more than once. It is the sub-interface of collection that contains index-based method to add or remove elements or values. A list is a data structure in Python that is mutable or changeable ordered sequence of elements. Each element or value that is inside of a list is called an item. So next, creating list variables. Creating list variable is as easy as creating a scalar variable. A list variable can have any number of values starting from 0, and if many values are needed, they can be split into several rows. So what syntax we use for creating list? So starting from @ and enclosing with curly braces. We can create a list in any section like variable section, a test cases section, or keywords section. We can create a list and perform their operations, related operations in these sections. Now coming to the implementation part of list creations and their operations with the examples. So here I have created sections as variables and test cases, and in test cases I have created multiple tests, as you can see. So I will show you how we can create a list and perform the list operations on that elements. So now come to, first of all, we need to import the library as a collection library because it's a interface of collection. So we import this library, collections. So here is a collection.py. It is imported. So now I'm going to create a list as my list, where here I will provide a set of elements like A1, A2, A3. There should be 4 space between each element. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So I have created a list which are having 5 elements. So I will print this and we'll see what is happening. So for printing, we use this log list. For performing any operation or printing, we use it is like scalar variable. So we will print starting from dollar and will provide the name of the list. Let me comment all these. We'll execute this one. Robot -d results, then suite name. needs to provide a space. Okay, it's passed. Let me check result. It should print the element with their index. So here is test case 1 and okay, so now it's printing 0 index A1 at 1, A2 at 2, A3. As you can see, here is the index starting from 0 and these are the elements. Okay, now come to I had created a list in variable. So now I will create list over here by using create list user defined method. So this is the name of the list. Here I used create list method. As you can see, I will provide set of operation, then it will return list. It's an inbuilt method, as you can see. So I will provide item over here. Item 1, similarly item 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 is space, item 3. This is another way to creating a list in a test case. So I will print this as in log list. Starting from dollar, I had passed the variable name over here, list variable name. Let me execute once. Let me check. So here I had created a list which are having these items, 4 items, and you can see it's printing at 0 index item 1 and 4th index you can see 2, 3 and 4 index item 4. So this is the another way to creating a list within a test cases or keywords. So now come to how we can append list, how we can perform append operation in list. So I'm just copying this. So this is a list which are having 4 elements. I'm going to call append to list. Again, I had starting from dollar, then providing the list variable name, and will append the item 5. In the same list, L1, I had appended the item element 5 and trying to log this list variable. Let me execute this one. It should add one more index with the value item 5. Let me check. Okay, now it's getting over here. As you can see at the index 5, there is item 5, right? So now come to the next scenario, combine list. Let me uncomment this. So guys, I'm explaining the list operations over here, going through creating list, then how we can append the value in the list as I have shown over here. Now I am coming to combine two lists, list 1 and list 2. Let me create two lists and we'll show you how we can combine these. So this is list 1 having 4 elements. Similarly, I'm going to create list 2, 4, 5. You can take item as per requirement in your test case. So here I am taking the example like this. Four, 5, 6. We can take multiple um, duplicate values. We can store in list duplicate values. So no worries. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Then it will append the 5 elements which are having multiple duplicate values. So I will going to combine these lists and will store in final list variable. It's just a list variable name. I'm going to perform operation combine list. So here I will pass the value of list 1 and list 2. Let me log this final list. This combine list method will combine the values for list 1 and list 2. In list 1 we are having 5 elements and list 2 we are having 5 elements with the element which are having duplicate values. So it will create a combined list which will have 10 elements. Let me execute this. Let me check TC3. So as you can see, this is combining like item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, 5, then 6 duplicate items. So it's storing in ordered way, starting from 0 and till 9 with 10 elements, as you can see over here. List, guys, list store duplicate values as well. So here you can see it is storing duplicate values. Okay, so I had covered create list operation, append list, combine list. Now come to copy list. Sometimes in our scenario we need to uh, copy the list in some other variables. So here we will see how we can copy a list in another list variable. So here is a list I had created. So I will just call copy list. And will store in other list variable. As you can see, I had created a list L1, and I am trying to store this L1 list in the different in other list, as you can see. So let me log this new list, right? So let me execute, see the result, copy list. As you can see, it is copying in the new list. All the items which are having in list L1 is being copied in list new list, and here I had tried to print this, right? So coming to how we can count how many elements are in the list. So I will just perform the operation counting the list. Let me create a list again. And then here I am creating a count variable. Then I will just call the method get length. So count values in list. It will count the duplicate values in the list, right? So method will is different. Let me create a list which are having two values, same values as item one, duplicate values. So we'll count values in list as item one. How many items are as item one? So it will return the count. Let me log this count. It should return 2. Let me check what is happening. It's failing. Okay, I didn't provide it the list in which I am going to count the item. Expected argument 1 teaser. So it's an integer value and I am trying to here print as a list. My mistake. So here we can print in log, right? Okay, it's executed successfully. Let me check. It should return 2, count as 2. So here is 1. Sorry, I had provided item 3. So let me replace this. In item 3, I have only one item, so it's printing a count as 1. And as item 1, it's at 2 places, so it should return 2. So let me execute this. It should be 2. So here you can see it's a 2. Similarly, you can count the element occurrence by using count values in list. Now come to get from list. So by using this method, we will get the index values. So here is a list, and this is the value variable name, and I will call the method get from list. So it will return the value at which index I am providing here. So it will return the value. So this is the list, and I am providing here 0 index. It will return the values according to the index. So I had provided here index 0, so it should return item 1. Just log this value. It should print item 1. Let me execute this program. We'll see the result. Here you can see it's item 1. So if we want to print last item for the list, then we will, as you can see here is 5 elements, so I will provide the index minus 5. So it will print the last index. For printing the last index, you can provide minus n. N is the number of size of the list. So here is n is 5, so I am just providing minus 5. So it will print item 5. Let me check. It will print last element of the list as I had provided minus and size of the list. Sorry, it is printing item 1. If I want index 3, then it should print 3. Let me check. In the list operation, if we want to print last item, then we just need to provide -1. It will print last item. If we want to print the first item of the list, then we just need to provide 0. If we want to print previous to last, then we need to provide -2. So let me print last item of the list. So we have to provide -1 like this. So it should print item 5. And the last index start from -1, then -2, then -3, -4, and -5. And if you want to print first index, then it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the format. So it should print item 5. Let me check. Yes, it's printing item 5. So we can use get from list method to print the items as per index. Okay, so now come to insert operation for the list. Again, I am creating a new list. And I want to insert item at the third index. So 0, 1, 2. Then I want to insert item at after item 3, means third index. So how we can do this? Insert into list, then list variable name, and here I will provide the index. So it should insert the item after 3 item, and then we'll provide the item name, like I want to insert item 10 at third index. So here we can do like this. Let me check. Let me print this, then we can get the value. Okay, so item 10 is inserted at the third index. As you can see, I had provided index 3. Similarly, you can insert item at any index. So next operation is remove item from list. So let me create a list. Or we can use the list I have defined in variable section. So let me use this list, which are having A1, A2, and A5 elements. So I am going to remove this 0th index element. So I'm just going to use this list. Rather than creating new list, I'm going to just use this. So here is the list variable. So I'm just going to remove from list. So this is the inbuilt method, remove from list. Then I'm just going to pass the index. I'm going to remove. Let me print this, then we can properly see and log. So let me print this list before performing the remove operation, then after performing the remove operation. So let me print this. Okay, so it should remove A1 0th index element. So let me execute this program. TC8, I'll check. So here you can see 0 index A1 and 1 A2, 2 index A3 and 4th index A5. And I had just performed the operation remove from list. Then I had removed 0th index, so it should remove A1, as you can see over here. Okay, so now it's removing the A1 element, as you can see over here, right? So I had covered the operations, create list, append list, combine two list, L1 and L2, then copying a list in different list variable. As you can see, count the values occurrence in the list, as I had shown you, item 1, occurrence of item 1. So, and insert into list, get from list, index values. So -1 will return the last element of the list, and -2 similarly, -3 will return this element, -4, -5 first. And if we start from initial, then we'll provide the index 0, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. for getting the element. Then I had shown you insert into list, then remove from list, and now come to remove duplicate values from the list. So I will create a list which are having duplicate values, item 1 and item 2. Item 1 is a duplicate values. So I'm just going to perform operation remove duplicate from the list, and will store in other in the same variable, or we can store in other variable. So here I am storing same variable. Let me log this. Before performing the operation remove duplicate, and will print after performing this operation. So I will log this list after performing remove duplicate. As you can see, here is the method in collections.py. What are the libraries I had imported? So this is user defined method. So I'm just going to execute this program. We'll see what is happening. This is test scenario TC9. So I had logged the value before this operation. As you can see, the duplicate values are here, and after performing this operation, you can see there is no duplicate values, right? So I had covered this. Next, length of the string. So this is the list I had created in variable section. I will count the length of the string. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It should be 5. Let me check. Get length of this string. Then we'll store in a variable again variable. Let me log this length variable. It should be 5, right? Let me execute. Let me print this log list. Okay, so these are having 4 element because we had performed remove operation over here. As you can see, I had removed index 1 element. So guys, it's a global variable I had defined in variable section. So in test case 8, I had performed remove operation, so it removed index 1 element. So as you can see over here, while I am printing, I'm logging this. So index A1 is not over here. So the count is 4 now. right? If we will create a new list, then I can show you. I had created a new list which are having 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 element. Let me count the length of this and will print. It should print 5. Log this L1. It should print 5. Because I had removed, earlier I had removed the element at 0th index elements. That's why the count was full. So it will return, get length will return the length of the list. So let me execute this one. L1 should be 5. Oops. This is L1. So I had created this list which are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 element, and I'm just counting the length of element. So this is 5, as you can see. I had logged this, so this is 5, right? So this is how we can get the length of a string, length of list, right? So now come to the sort operation, how we can sort the element. Let me create a list L1 which will be having integer value like this, 3, then 10, then 12, then 13. So I will perform the sort operation, so it will sort the value. So let me check this. Let me print this log list, then L1 sorting the value. So let me check what is happening. This is test case 11. So let me store in different variable L2. Let me print this. It should. Sort the list. Here you can see in Python 2 most objects were comparable, but Python 3 is not possible. So in my system, I have Python 3, so it's not possible with the numbers. We can sort only the string values. So here I'm going to provide string values like AA, then alphabet BB, then DD, then CC, with having for space 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it should short as per Python 3.0. So let me execute this. So this is AABBDT. So it should sort in alphabetical order. So let me check. So here A, B, B, C, C, D, D, and E. So it's it was earlier it was like this, and it sorting like this. So here we can see we can sort in Python 3. We can sort the values only string values, not numeric values. So let me perform this operation, reverse operation. Let me create a string like this. Let me create a list, not a string, like this. Then we'll reverse list. Log this list. Let me check. This is reverse string. So I had provided this operation. So you can see earlier it was like this. I had stored the value item 1, then 3. So it's index at index 0, it is storing 5, index 1, it is storing 4. So you can see it's reversing. So now come to the validation part. How we can validate, how we can provide the validation on list. So list should contain a value or not. So let me create a list, then we'll check, uh, then we'll provide the validation on items like item 3. So we'll provide the validation list should contain value this, and list is this L1. It should contain item, it should pass because we are having item 3 element in L1 list, so it should pass. So let me check. Okay, so it's a green, you can see. So it's passing. So similarly, should not if I am providing the element 6, so test case should be fail because item 6 is not available in this L1 list. So let me check. So it's failing, as you can see, and here you can also see it's failing, right? Control Z. Now come to similarly should not contain. We can perform the operation should not contain. Let me copy this and we'll provide the operation should not contain value. So in this list we are having these item. Then apart from this, if I am providing this item 6, then it's not containing, so it should pass. Let me execute. So it's passing, as you can see over here. So it's passing. And similarly, this item is having in this list. If I am providing the validation over here, so it should fail. Let me execute this. So it's failing, as you can see. It's failed. So let me control Z this. Okay, similarly we can perform the operation for sublist. So we can create a sublist and we can perform the operation, and we can similarly we can perform operation for list equal to. Let me write the program for all the method, then we'll execute. So this is the list 1, and I'm creating a sublist L2 like this. having items 3 and 4. So we'll provide the validation list. One should contain list 2. Should contain sublist. So this is the list 1 dollar. This is list 2. So this test case should pass. Let me execute this. Okay, so these are failing. So this is passing, as you can see over here, or similarly you can see in the result. Oh, this 16 was failing because I had not provided any scenarios over here. So list should not contain duplicate values. So let me check. This is the list which are having duplicate values, so it will fail. Contain duplicates. So as of now we are having duplicate values, so this scenario will fail. Let me run this program, then we'll see what is happening. So as you can see, multiple items, so it's failing. So if I will change this item, then it will pass. Let me execute this. So it's passed, as you can see, in because we are not having duplicate value in this list, so it's passing. Similarly, list should be equal to, let me create this list, and list 1, this is list 1, and similarly list 2, which are having the same element. Let me provide the assertion list should be equal, like this. So we are having multiple operations as per our test scenario we can perform like this. I have explained most of the operations by this tutorial. Right, so this is equal, as you can see. If I will change the value, then it should fail. Let me check, I'm not sure. So it's a failing. As you can see, this value is not similar to this one. So I had covered couple of scenarios over here, almost 17 scenarios. So as you can see, I had created a global list and also shown you the operations on global list over here for removing the element. And here in test scenario, I had created create list, then append list, then combine list, then copy, count the values of occurrence of the element in list, get index value as -1, will fetch last index. We start from -1 for the last and start from 0 to get first index, 0th index element, and inserting into list, removing from list, remove duplicate values, length of the list. How can get the length of the list like this? Then short element, then reverse. I have shown you how we can. And some assertions I had applied over here. List should not contain value, should contain sublist, should not contain duplicate. So mainly list operations I had covered by this tutorial. Let me show you how we can implement in a live example. So here I had created earlier, in my previous tutorial I had created this file uh, for the bookings operation validation on goivbo.com. So I will explain how we can use list in this program. So in this test suite, I had created multiple operations like click on header icon link for flight booking and validate the page. Then I had created enter booking location from and destination, and test case 3 I had created enter departure date and return date. Then validating this pay chart should be displayed. So here in this test case, I had provided a form from location and as Delhi and to a destination as a Dehradun. So I had hard coded the value over here. So uh, let me create a list, and will get the value from the list for from location and destination. So let me show you how we can create a list and provide the value in this field. So here I am going to create a list variable as location, and will pass two elements over here as Delhi, and the second one as Dehradun, as you can see, and we'll use the list variable over here like this. It is 0th index and it is 1. Let me execute this program and we'll see what is happening. So it's passing Delhi and Dehradun. Then departure time and return time, as you can see, and then search option. So pages, fair price page is displayed. So as you can see here, I had created a list variable, and in this list variable I had provided two elements, Delhi and Dehradun, as you can see, and I had passed the index values over here, as you can see. So this is how we can you reduce our program or make more generic by using list variable. So guys, today's tutorial we had learned what is list and types of operations in the list collection. So I have shown you in this tutorial. I try to cover uh, many operations by this. So as you can see. So thank you for watching my tutorial. I will be coming with the new tutorial with some other concept. Have a great day.